In this Elden Ring Nightreign video, we're gonna look at every Nightfarer in detail, their powers, their strengths, their weaknesses, and help you choose your favorite Nightfarer. Now, each hero is defined by three abilities. First is the passive trait, second is the unique ability that you need to activate, and finally the ultimate attack. And for each hero, I'm gonna break down all of their abilities. To kick off this list, I want to start with a hero which was kept the biggest secret leading up to the release of the Elden Ring Nightreign. And after seeing what he can do, I get you FromSoft. I get you. I get why you wanted this to be a big reveal just before it releases, since it is the most unique in terms of its playstyle and has quickly become a fan favorite since its reveal. We have the Executor. This Nightfarer is highly inspired by Sekiro by wielding a katana and excelling in close quarter combat. This hero, while being hard to master, will reward players with precise parry and deflections. Now, let's talk powers. First up, we have the Cursed Sword, where you change your weapon of choice to a different weapon that enables attack deflections, execute fast attacks, and what's special about this sword is that the more you deflect, the more will the outer layer of your sword get chipped off, exposing a glowing inner blade, making it more powerful in the process. Meaning, the more you deflect, the more powerful will your sword get. For its ultimate, it turns into a huge beast-like creature who has its own set of moves. Slashes, storms, things you would expect a beast with claws would do in a FromSoft game. Wylder. This is the armored knight, the knight in shining armor, the go-to character for most Souls game players, equipped with a hefty longsword. The Wylder is more agile than you would expect, so this is the perfect all-rounder between attack power and attack speed. I would assume you would go for a hybrid build for this one between Dex and Strength. Now, let's talk ability. One ability is the hook step, and it's not a dance step. Mortal Kombat fans would find it quite fascinating. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. However, I'm not sure how that's gonna work against the bigger bosses when night falls. Wylder's second ability is a passive, which is nothing but a kind of a sixth sense where it can sense imminent death and find a way to dodge it. You basically get a second chance to either heal yourself or find a way to kill your enemy. And the way you reset this power is by resting at a site of grace. This passive is the reason so many players are going to choose the Wylder. And you can even use it last minute, last second to evade your enemy, which could lead to some crazy YouTube shorts. And for the ultimate ability, it can charge up for an explosive attack, and the more you hold on, the more is its attack power to damage those tanky bosses. Talking of tank, let's talk Guardian. This is the second boss in the roster and the tank of your team, and will be right at the thick of things to take in most of the damage the bosses throw at you. So the ideal way to play him would be to use a hefty weapon and a shield to take in all that incoming damage. And if you think about it, it's the perfect support character as it can revive some of your high hitting but squishy teammates. His passive is the Steel Guard, where you basically put the shield down and guard enemy attacks, which blocks most enemy damage and is considerably stronger than a regular guard. The only downside to this is, when you put the shield down, your movement speed is considerably reduced. If I had to draw comparisons, it's like having an overweight armor in Elden Ring. Coming to its ability, it creates a whirlwind of sorts. It's a ranged AoE whirlwind, so it's something you can target from distance. And for its ultimate, yeah, this is really cool. It's called the Wings of Salvation. The Guardian flies up in the sky before performing a dive bomb onto the ground, dealing AoE damage and also raises defense of nearby allies. Now, remember I told you this being a support and can revive your allies? Well, the way you revive your allies in this game is by hitting them. Now imagine you see your friends dead in an area. You can simply dive bomb and revive them both at one go. Next up, the Duchess. Now this is one of my favorite characters cause this character can do something that can only be done in my all-time favorite game. That's Bloodborne. Sidestep. And your weapon of choice? The dagger. And that, my friends, is her passive ability, where she uses an elegant sidestep instead of the usual dodge roll employed by all other Nightfarers, which makes her more agile and also increases iframes when she's doing those Bloodborne type dodges. Next up, we have the most powerful attacks of any Nightfarers, Restage. She has this ability to re-deal all the damage done by her and her allies in the last few seconds. So basically you do double damage. Imagine you all do your special moves dealing all that damage and the Duchess gets to redo all of that damage in one shot. Insane power. And her ultimate ability cloaks all nearby allies, allowing you for a quick getaway. Or a better way to use it, in my opinion, would be to give your allies enough time to end the cooldown of their ability so that they can deal massive damage, and you can simply double that by using the ability we just spoke about earlier. Iron Eye is basically the Hawkeye from Avengers. They could have gone for a more, let's say, imaginative name, but her powers are quite fun. And I want to start with the passive, which is called the Eagle Eye. It increases the amount of items enemies and bosses would drop, which is going to be unbelievably overpowered. Nightreign is basically a team game on timer, so faster loot for the team translates into team being more powerful, more faster. And I cannot wait to see what kind of loot we can expect with this hero in our team. As far as the active skills are concerned, we have the marking skill, which basically, how do I say this? So it reduces enemy poise. What I mean by that is, it disrupts enemy poise. You know when you do a big heavy damage and the boss takes a couple of seconds to recover and regain his poise before he starts attacking? This is it. So when you disrupt poise, it gives that couple of seconds advantage to your team members to go on an attack while he regains his poise again. And finally, for the ultimate, we have the single shot, which as per the definition of From Software, and I quote, is a supersonic arrow which can pierce through any target, which is basically one mega hit which will keep going and do AoE damage to everyone in its path. So positioning yourself is going to be the key. Position yourself right and you will take out hordes of enemies with a single blow. Next hero, Recluse, which is basically a mage and truth be told reminds me a lot of Rani the Witch. Now her passive ability is called the Elemental Defense, which basically lets you see elemental residue, meaning you can see what element is left behind after an attack, be it from your ally or your foe. This power, the elemental residue, is a very important passive for the Recluse. And this ties in with her second power, which is called the Magic Cocktail. Remember your passive which lets you see elemental residue? Well, you can actually collect this residue and store it in these 3 slots, and they combine to create random effects. Just to name a few, we have this Minato style power from Naruto, where you move as fast as lightning. If you got the reference, I want to hear from you in the comments. Then we have a fire AoE attack, an ice shield in which you get covered in ice and it acts as your shield, which is cool. Bloodhound step, yeah, that's there. The combinations are endless and it'll be really cool to see what more things we can do with this power. Her ultimate is pretty straightforward, thankfully. Soul's Bloodstone, where she covers her enemy with this glyph. And every time you and your ally do damage to your enemy marked by this glyph, both you and your allies get back a portion of your HP and your FP. Next up is the recently revealed Nightfarer, and that's the Raider. I don't know about you guys, but this hero gives me the classic Viking brute force vibes. The Raider is officially billed as the powerful seafarer. Now, for this hero, the passive and active skills are both intertwined. The Raider's core skill, Retaliate, may seem pretty underwhelming. Mechanically, it consists of two storms that deal a modest amount of physical and poise damage. But here's the hidden brilliance of it. Thanks to the Raider's passive, the fighter's resolve, he cannot be knocked down while performing Retaliate, and that changes everything. This turns out what looks like a basic attack into a powerful defensive maneuver, giving you the ability to tank through even the most punishing boss attacks. And if that wasn't enough, if you successfully absorb a high damage hit while casting Retaliate, the second storm is replaced with a massive armor shattering punch. This attack does significantly more damage and is capable of staggering even the largest of enemies, opening them up for follow-up blows or team takedowns. Now the ultimate, which is called the Totem Stellar, has to be the most unique power in this game, where you conjure this big vertical stone for you and your allies to climb on and get some attacks done while being out of range. Now granted, this works more if you are ranged attackers. Like in this footage, you can see the Iron Eye climbing the rock and getting some free hits in, while the Raider jumps to get a big heavy attack in. Now the description of this states that when you do summon the Tombstone, it deals damage to nearby enemies and also boosts your allies. For the final Nightfarer, we have the Revenant. Now, some of her skills can be a bit confusing. Her first skill is Necromancy, where she has the power to resurrect a fallen foe. Now, at first, it wasn't happening for me, and it took me a while to understand that it only works if you do the killing blow. So your team needs to understand that and let you do the finishers. Her second power is the Summoning Spirit, where she will play some instrument and summon one of three spirits, and each of them has specific attributes and skills, but you can only summon one at a time. And finally, for the ultimate, we have the Immortal March, and as the name suggests, this power will make you and your team immortal for 15 seconds. But that's not the only thing it's going to do. It's going to also make your summon do his or her special skill. So timing of this power is going to be the key. Time it right and it'll be the reason you win many of the night bosses. Time it wrong, well, it's going to be very underwhelming. So there you have it. The 8 superheroes of Elden Ring, Nightreign. Which hero will you be choosing? Let me know in the comments. We'll be putting out builds for every Nightfarer. So if that sounds interesting to you, a like and a sub would be simply lovely.